Hey, it's Mark. I want to talk with you today about a compliance topic. I noticed from an article that a client and friend alerted me to this morning that the Denver Post has reported another compliance settlement, this time involving Medicaid, and this time involving anesthesia charges, both facility side and anesthesia provider side charges. Specifically, the article talked about a settlement by which some anesthesia groups and some facilities and it appeared a health plan and which may have I'm not sure directly employed physicians in the state. But the bottom line is that there were allegations and investigation that there were either double charges or undocumented charges to Medicaid that had been paid, for anesthesia services, the investigation, and the settlement. Now, I'm not sure if the settlement involved any admission of wrongdoing, and I'm not even sure if it was alleged that any of these providers had billed fraudulently as opposed to had billed by way of error. But that's not my point. My point is that there is an uptick in respect of billing compliance, payment compliance, both at the federal and the state level. And the reason is rather obvious. That's because the states and the feds make money when they devote resources to rooting out overpayments. They make money because the amount that they spend on the effort pales in comparison to the amounts that they collect from the effort. Additionally, there's the impact of both federal and state whistleblower laws, False Claims Act statutes that permit the feds or a state to receive some type of multiplier in the event that they bring an action to collect improper billings. My point in all this is that compliance is a real, live course of conduct. It's certainly having a compliance plan, but having the compliance plan itself isn't compliance. It's just a part of that process. So what's more important is the education, the auditing, the correcting of errors, and especially in the case of federal funds, whether we're talking about Medicare or we're talking about the federal funds that contribute toward Medicaid payments. There are statutory obligations to return an overpayment within 60 days. You can take a look at my blog concerning when that 60-day period begins to run. There's recently been more clarification on that, at least as concerns some Medicare payments. But there's no good regulatory advice in connection with Medicaid payments. Anyway, so if you think you're compliant because you've got some compliance plan on in a blue binder on the shelf, that doesn't mean that you are. It's a step in the right direction, but like any journey, one step isn't going to cut it. At least if you actually want to arrive.